Darling, I am growing older. Silver threads among the gold.
Come in.
Hello, Doreen, my dear. I was wondering how you're getting on after that fall. Must have shaken you up a bit.
Oh, Fred, that's ever so kind of you. You really shouldn't have bothered.
No trouble, my dear, no trouble at all. How are you feeling now? Is your head hurting?
It's all right unless I move suddenly. I hate being so helpless and making such a nuisance of myself. There were all these people enjoying themselves, and then I went and spoiled it all. It makes me feel I should stay in my room in case it happens again.
Don't talk rubbish. You've as much right as anyone else to come to the entertainment, and any one of us could have fallen over. If it had been me, there'd have been a damn sight more mess and a fair bit of strong language as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred. You'd better not make me laugh. It hurts my head. What a nuisance.
You reckon it's me being the nuisance this time? Anyway, what did you think of that Elvis chap?
Well, it did make a nice change. I must admit I preferred that nice romantic song. It reminded me of the last waltz with my husband at the golf club dance all those years ago.
You know, I never did get the hang of that ballroom dancing. One of those slow waltzes is about all I could manage these days. How about you teaching me? Wait, make sure you didn't fall over.
Oh, Fred, that is so sweet of you. I'm not sure. Oh, I wonder who that can be.
Why, Molly! What a lovely surprise for both of us.
For you, perhaps. I came to see how Doreen is. I hope you've not been upsetting her.
Do come in, Molly. Have the armchair over there. Fred's been no trouble at all. In fact, he's been cheering me up.
Thank you, dear. Credit where credit's due, I suppose. Now, has either of you any idea why Ian is here? He was meant to be doing something frightfully important elsewhere, so that he couldn't come to the entertainment, which struck me as rather a clever bit of planning. And now he's come dashing in to see Matron about something and couldn't even spare me the courtesy of a few minutes of his time. I don't take kindly to being dismissed like that.
Oh dear, I hope it's nothing to do with me falling over. I've caused enough trouble as it is.
No. It must be much more serious than that. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't meaning to imply. What I meant was...
What you meant was it was something Matron couldn't handle on her own.
Exactly. Thank you, Fred. You've actually been quite helpful for a change. So if Matron can't deal with it, it must be extremely serious.
Perhaps one of the staff has done something wrong. Really wrong, I mean. Still, we mustn't start rumours, must we?
Why not? Makes life a bit more interesting. Better than talking about what's on telly.
As far as I'm concerned, we residents have every right to know what's going on in our home. It is a matter of principle.
Yes, I hadn't thought of it like that. After all, we shouldn't be left to worry about things, should we?
What about trying the Freedom of Information Act? Then they'd have to tell us, wouldn't they? Look, I'm going to leave you ladies to have a nice guessing game while I have a nose round to see what I can find out. Then I'll report back. See you later.
Come on, you two youngsters. Tea drink's over. Time to get the old folks' cocoa organised. Then we can think about going home.
Oh, thank goodness for that. It's been ever such a long day. At the shop, we started later and finished earlier.
You'll have to get used to carrying shifts. It's only 4 shifts a week though, remember?
Yes, it can be a big advantage having 3 full days off. You can have a long weekend away every so often.
That sounds nice. But who would I go with and how would I get there? How will I afford it anyway? I'd have to save up for months.
You'd be surprised how much you can save when you work full time and live with your mum and dad. It's not like these 16 hours a week jobs that a lot of people can get. And as for those jobs with a 0 hours contract, well, people must be desperate or stupid to take them. How are you supposed to manage if you get 20 hours one week and 8 the next? You can't plan what you can afford. And it's hopeless if you're on benefit.
That sounds awful. Are there many jobs like that?
Far too many. I could name you some well-known employers who operate that way. So just count your blessings and fetch the milk out the fridge.
Evening all.
How many times have I told you residents aren't allowed in the kitchen? It's against the rules.
All right, I know. They say rules are made to be broken, don't they?
Maybe so, but not in my kitchen. And if you're on the scrounge, you're going to be out of luck. We're busy preparing your cocoa and your bickies, so you'll have to wait.
It's not food I'm after, it's information. What's going on with Ian and Matron in the office? Must be urgent, because he wouldn't even listen to Molly for a minute. That takes some doing.
I should think he's pretty annoyed at having to come in specially. Perhaps that's why he had no time for Molly. What did she want, anyway?
She didn't say. But if I know Molly, she wanted to complain about something. She does that for a pastime. Now, what about you answering my question?
That's easy. We don't know, but we'd like to, because it must be serious.
Precisely. That's exactly what Molly said. Doreen's worrying about it too.
She's not the only one, Fred. How do you think the staff feel?
It's getting to be quite an exciting day, isn't it? First the entertainment and now this mystery.
I think my nerves can stand the strain. Now, like I said, we've got work to do. Fred, you'll have to tell Molly we can't help this time. Off you go.
All right. I know when I'm not wanted. Don't be too stingy with the milk.
So, Ian, as I said, I'm sure I can be of some assistance in this matter. You don't run a successful pub for 20 years without learning a thing or two about the, shall we say, seedier side of people. I've served and employed gypsies, tramps and thieves, as they say, and it sounds like you could do with some assistance.
It's very nice of you to offer.
This is Audrey, Ian. She's new here. She used to run the Queen's Arms, and I really think she may be some help.
I'm not sure we should be involving a resident in this, Ian.
Nonsense, young man. I may be old, but I know people, and I know pilferers. Anyone try to put their hand in my till would soon know about it, I can tell you.
How do you even know what's happened?
I had a little chat with Jack and Edith in the lounge. They were having a bit of a shouting match, which I couldn't help overhearing. Odd couple, that's for certain. It seems that Elvis fellow told Jack that money had been stolen, and Mr. Daniels was accusing his young lady of being the culprit because she was offering him £100. Quite obviously nonsense, as she had a cash point receipt for the money.
Edith was giving Jack money.
Yes, that's what I said, isn't it? Anyway, when I discovered the reason for this kerfuffle, I came straight here to offer my assistance.
I'm sorry, Audrey, but why was Edith offering Jack money?
Something to do with gambling, but that's neither here nor there. Our problem is, who has taken this money of yours?
But if Jack has a gambling problem, maybe it was him.
No, that man isn't a thief. He may be a rogue, as we used to say in my day, and not the most gallant of men, but he's no fool. Besides which, he had refused the £100. A guilty person would have taken it to make it seem as though he was still hard up. You'll need to look elsewhere for your culprit. Do you have any suspects?
Well, it could be anyone, I suppose. The safe was unlocked whilst there was all the commotion when Doreen fell over. It would only have taken a matter of seconds to nip in here and take it.
Has anyone been exhibiting the signs of avarice recently?
Well, Molly has been complaining of being short, but if I'm honest, Molly wouldn't be Molly if she didn't ask me for more than she's got, then moan about it, surely. She wouldn't steal, though.
As much of a pain as she is, Johnny, I can vouch for the fact that she didn't leave the dining room while you were there. She was near me the whole time, so that's another name off the suspect list.
It does seem unlikely that it was a resident, as they would be unaware of the state of the safe at the time of the incident, surely.
That's a good point. Why would a resident have even thought to come in here? As far as they're concerned, the safe is always locked.
Exactly. As far as I can see, there's only one real suspect.
You'll have to help me, Audrey. I can't see where you're getting at.
It's obvious, surely. The only person who knew the safe was unlocked and isn't a resident.
You mean Elvis?
Exactly. He certainly had the opportunity, coupled with the knowledge of the state of the safe. He could have done it in under 30 seconds. We're so close to the dining room.
It does make sense, you know. By the sounds of it, he was certainly in a hurry to leave. Right, Matron?
Yes, and his anger may have just been to cover up his guilt, I suppose.
Who is he, anyway? Surely he can't really have been called Elvis Presley. Ian, you booked him. What's his real name?
Not hard to remember, actually. He goes by the name of Dwight Inkpen.
Goodness, no wonder he doesn't use it.
Now that is most interesting.
Why do you know him?
Never met the fellow, but I used to know his mother, Eileen Inkpen. She would come into the pub years ago now and regale me with tales of her wayward son, Dwight. A bright nasty piece of work by all accounts. Used to thieve off his poor mum at every opportunity. This poor woman was most distraught. That would be about 15 years ago, I suppose. So our man Elvis would certainly be of the right age, and with a name like that, it's highly unlikely to be a different Dwight Inkpen.
Well, well, that is very, very helpful, Audrey. I suggest Matron, Johnny and I pay Mr. Inkpen a visit and have a little chat about financial matters.
Why don't you talk to his mother first and make sure of your ground?
What do you mean? Why should we know where she is?
Because, Mr. Cash, she was sitting in the lounge not an hour ago, watching her son do his act.
When your hair is silver white and your cheeks no longer bright, when the roses of the May will kiss your lips and say,